Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, VALTORIOUS, the AWOKEN, and yeah, we're gonna be talking about some Evangelion. Now, Evangelion is basically about like these angels that's coming to destroy humanity, but till you find out later, like there's a very, very deeper meaning into the story that goes far beyond your understanding, because it has a lot of philosophical questions and stuff that makes you really question like your entire existence and why. Where you have this lonely boy, Shinji Ikari, who basically was abandoned by his own father, Gendo Ikari. Now I'm gonna go further deep into that, but I just wanted to say that this entire anime, it's crazy. This entire anime is freaking crazy. You won't be disappointed, and you won't feel like, well, oh man, like I'm watching this anime and you know I'm not really understanding. It's like, to a degree you won't understand it because you have to look into the deeper meanings into the story. Like, you know, you have like the Magi's, you have the Ritsuko's, you have, you know, his friends. You have everything that's in this incredible story that makes you want to see more, because once when you look up and you find out the deeper meaning to the story, you're like, okay, it kind of solves everything for you without you feeling too confused or lost. Because I'm telling you, when you watch this anime and the movie, you will feel type lost and kind of confused until you see everything kind of unfold and wrap up, and you're like, okay, I'm not confused or lost anymore, because it actually makes sense. It actually makes sense that how things is kind of like leading up to the finale of the show and towards the movie and stuff. Because it's like, when I first watched the original, when I first, you know, was watching like the original movies and stuff like that, before anything, I was just like, oh, okay, you know, this is kind of cool, this is crazy and stuff like that. But yeah, but Gendo Ikari only wants to, his true goal is basically to be reunited with his wife. That's all that this man mission is, to be reunited with his wife. But before I even get to that, the true goal for the moment was to basically fight like the angels. So he had Shinji Ikari, he had Asuka, and then he had Rei. Now all three of them basically was fighting like the angels to a degree until they met Kuwari. Now Kuwari was basically set up as a, what you would call it, he was basically set up by this other organization who you find out later that was plotting a secret to regain his body back, because Akari's soul is basically Adam, the first angel. So, well, the second angel. Yeah, second angel. Yeah, he's basically like the second angel and stuff. So basically, in this situation, Shinji had to kill him because Shinji saw a Kuwari as a friend, where he was telling him everything. It was like, well, you know, I hate my father, he's this and that and stuff, because it was like he couldn't like connect with everybody, and Kuwari had like a lot of information, and he was wise, you know, he's basically wise, and was telling him like things that he needed to hear, that, well, you know, man can't fully run from being alone, like you have to accept all the things that's given to you, pains, suffering, loss, all types of stuff, until, you know, eventually Shinji was like understanding, until he found out who he was, and then he had to kill him. And then Asuka also has problems, because it's like her mother is, well, her soul of her mother is inside her suit, and she has like problems with not being alone, even though when you see her in the anime, she's more like, she wants people to acknowledge her, but she also wants to be like, well, I am also strong and I'm on my own 2 feet as well. But she wants to be accepted, because in deep down inside she's alone, until you see in further episodes where it's like she's breaking down inside because it's like she thinks that her mother is not there, and then when you see in the movies she finally realized that her mother was always with her the entire time because her mother's soul is inside the suit. So it gets so crazy and messed up because it's like oh my god, like this anime it will leave you messed up because you have sex, death, separations, anxiety, depression, everybody just doing their own thing. Then you have Gendo Akari, who finally admits towards the ending that he doesn't want to be hurt, so he basically just says screw the world, I want to be by myself, my wife's dead, I don't want no part of it. And then he was like, yeah, I was an ass and I treated my own son like a dick. And I was like, yeah, you damn did, because when you watch it from the first episode to the last, and then a bit of it in the movie, because all Shinji wanted to do throughout the entire anime and somewhat of the movie, he kind of wanted to have his father's praise, because he was tired of feeling that way until that one episode where Shinji's father Gendo praised him that one time that he praised him, and Shinji felt that, well, maybe things was changing, until you started to see in upcoming episodes that he was going back on his ways when he found out that Shinji's friend was another candidate to be the next pilot. And then when you find out that Shinji was like, because the problem with this episode that I hate it in particular, because nobody told Shinji that, hello, your best friend, one of your friends is basically he's pilot, he's going to be a pilot, he's going to be the third man. Nobody was telling. They were like, we can't tell you. Wait. Oh no, I can't tell you. And it's like, come on, are you stupid? To tell him. Until he almost killed his friend, because Gendo was like, well, at this moment he went berserk. The suit went berserk, so you got to do what you have to do. So Shinji was like, no, there's a pilot in it, I can't do it. So he activated dummy mode, and the mode basically went into like it turned Shinji's suit berserk, and he almost killed his friend, but Shinji was threatened to like destroy Nerve and everything else and stuff, and then was like, well, I'm not gonna have you do that. Have you almost, well, basically it was like, well, you were discharged, but then when another angel attacked the base, he comes back. So it's like he keeps coming back, and he can't fully stay away because he wants to get his father's praise. Now the cool thing about Nerve and the whole setup was about how you had the three wise men and how everything was being empowered. Well, you had the three wise men. It was, what was it? It was the entire base was empowered by like those three, but then you had other means where, oh my god, I can't even get into the part where Gendo Akari basically had two women that he used. He killed the mother, and then he killed the daughter, and then took the mother's brains and had her also empower the base. I forgot the name of the doggone base. It's gonna come back to me, but anyway, he empowered that shit and had her the brains of operation. Then it was fucked up how he killed the daughter and was like, she was like, well, you know, my mother, I did everything what my mother said, because when she found out that he was basically using her, she was gonna blow up everything. That didn't work out, because at the end, your own mother still loved him, even though when you see in the flashbacks how Ray was calling her old hag because he was talking about her to Ray, stuff like that. You know, we don't really see it, but we can tell probably like off panel that Gendo killed her and then took her brain and had her power the machine and stuff. So I don't know, like, oh my god, man, this entire anime was just freaking, it was so messed up. Now the part where it had me was where the instrumental project where everybody was going to become one being. Now the one being part was that you don't feel nothing, almost like the Madara project. This is how I kind of saw it. It was basically like how the Madara project was, with the whole infinite Tsukiyomi, where it was like, well, you know, everybody's just gonna have a nice wonderful dream. They ain't gonna feel nothing. That's what it basically was. It was basically like this. So I was like, makes me wonder if Masashi was taking any ideas off of this, because it's like when you watch it, it's just like that, just except for the half crazy depression and half stuff that you've seen in this anime. Because once when Shinji was like, well, I don't want this, because because when he was in that place, he was kind of like thinking like, well, maybe the world would be better place if he wasn't born. Maybe he shouldn't exist at all. Maybe he should just go away. Maybe life that it is right now shouldn't be, until he started. It started coming to him. It was like, well, you have friends, you have things that you like and love, and he finally accepted being like, you have to feel pain, you have to feel suffering, because this is what it means to be like a human being. You have to accept pain, loss, suffering, separation, desperation, depression, all of it. You have to accept this. Until finally at the end, Shinji accepted and was like, I don't want none of this. And then that's when he destroyed the lance. He destroyed the lance. And then everybody eventually would have came back, because he said everybody will come back if they, something about believing in love or through their own memories or something like that, that eventually that they will come back. And then it was only Asuka and him on the beach, and him trying to like choke her out and stuff, and then she just touches his face a little bit. I guess it was a sentimental way of saying that they are now Adam and Eve, because everything is red and it's just those two that's there, waiting for everybody else to come back to, waiting for everybody else to be reborn again. That's what it was like, almost. It was something like that, because the concept of Evangelion, it's like it's the reverse. You have biblical stuff that's in this anime, and then how Lilith and Adam, and it's like, yes, we understand that Lilith was Adam's first wife, but then later in terms of the Bible and other forms of Bibles and stuff, that was like, well, in of religion as well, that Lilith became the mother of all demons. She became like the mother of all demons. Adam found a new wife, and that's what it was kind of leading up to. But in this case, it was in the reverse. It was that, Lilith basically created humanity, and it was like, okay. And then you had Adam, who just wanted destruction, but everything about this entire anime was crazy, because it's like, you see all of this pain and suffering that everybody, certain characters except for Rei, like mainly like Shinji and Asuka, they wanted to be loved. They just wanted to be loved. That's why I felt like those two kind of, it did right for me, even though I don't like the part where Shinji was doing to himself, and y'all know what I'm talking about, because I can't say the words because the demonification and stuff, but you know what I mean, guys. Y'all know what I mean, what Shinji was doing to himself in the bedroom and stuff like that. So I don't like, I kind of had to excuse that part, but those two in general I kind of liked, because it was like they had problems of their own. Shinji wasn't afraid to express those problems. Asuka later was expressing those problems when things were starting to like fully break down for her, and she was just like, well, I can't do it anymore. Until the ending, that's when she was like, well, I finally understand who I am, and I need to do what I need to do. Shinji's problem, it was just that he felt depression. He was always depressed until eventually he had friends. But even though when he had those friends, he still kept running away, coming back, running away, coming back, until he just, he finally accepted the role. Even though it took him a while to do it, because everybody was dying in nerve, because you had Seal? Yeah, I think it was Seal? That other organization that just basically came in there. They murdered Nerve. That was crazy. Like, it was like, all right, we tired of Gendo Akari. Like, this man, screw him. They just came in there and they wrecked everything and stuff. And then they made their own they made their own mechanical robotic suits and stuff, and they came in there supposedly killing Asuka and stuff like that. But no, it was doggone crazy until he tried to use Rey at the end to bring back his wife. She said no, we're gonna bring about the destruction of the world and stuff, and have everybody be merged into one being. He didn't want that until eventually he met up with his wife and was like telling her, I was a shit father. Every time I was around Shinji, I always hurted him. And I was like, no, sir, I don't give two flying fucks of what you are saying, because you fucked up Shinji's life and you had this poor boy going out of whack. For God's sake, he was twisting his meat while Asuka was in a doggone bed. He was cocking his chickens, and you gonna sit here and you gonna tell me this bull? Like, no. But yeah, man, it's like, I don't know what the author is doing with the remake or the reboot of Evangelion. Like, I see why people is kind of like 50-50, because watching the original was crazy, completely out of this world crazy, because when you have Rey, who's basically part clone of, well, yeah, you know, kind of like part clone of his mother, and, you know, have also the soul of Lilith as well. It's crazy, because it's like, I don't understand why would you make the remake and you got something good right here and stuff. Because I know, I think back in the days, I think they blew a lot of money, so I think some stuff was either skipped or some parts was delayed. I'm not too sure, but I heard that they did blew like a large chunk of their money back then. But still, I liked this original because it told a well fucked up, oh my god, it told a well fucked up story. The remake is kind of soft core a little bit. Okay, yeah, you had Shinji scorch the earth and some other stuff that's happening. I'm like, yeah, that's alright. But this original was, oh my god, it's crazy. It's freaking good. Yo, I'm telling you right now, this anime is holding a hard 10 stars because it will psychologically fuck with you. That's the point about this anime. It will psychologically fuck with you, because it's like, you got people that's like, because you got people like Shinji who's thinking about a lot of things in his life, about his ups, his downs, what he should do, what he should not do. Then you have other people that's also in there who going through like a lot of problems, a lot of emotional issues during the second impact, and still haven't fully recovered. And then you have Gendo Akari, who's sneaking around doing some crazy stuff, because all at the end of the day, he just want to reunite with his wife. Now when you think about it and when you hear about that, Gendo Akari almost sounds like the guy from Beyond Two Souls, that he was basically trying to figure a way of opening up the Beyond, well, in his case, manipulating the Beyond, that way he can see his wife again. And two, if you choose the bad kind of ending, he kills himself and then just goes and be reunited with his wife. So you have all these different types of concepts that when you look at it still would fuck with you, because that's the whole point about this anime, psychologically, and also too, they also has like physiologically, you know, I know I'm fucking botching that entire word, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it basically, it has all the stages in there, because when you find out there's like, I said, was it the Magi? No, it's not the Magi. I think it is the Magi. Yeah, it is the Magi. That's also like the base and stuff, like I said, with the whole three wise men as well. But oh man, I just don't know. Because when I first watched like Evangelion, I didn't quite understand, because I watched like the new one. Then I had to go back and I watched the original one, and the original one told a very deeper, crazier story than I like to say with the new one. The new one had some rehashes and some new stuff to it, but not as crazy as the original one. I'm sorry, not as crazy as the original, even though a lot of people was like 50-50 with it, but I still would like the original because how the story was written with the original. So yeah, you know, I probably missed out a few people. Probably like missed out like a few important key people into it and stuff. a lot of philosophy. Yeah, a lot of philosophy in Evangelion, because it's not like a basic story that you can just tell anybody, and an anime that you could just whip up and people will just go to and be like, oh, it's a great anime, let's push it to the side. No, you have to really look into it, because they put a lot of religion and a lot of philosophical questions to ask. And it's like, you yourself, what do you live for? Like, what is your existence so important that you yourself that goes absolutely crazy for? What makes you go absolutely crazy for your own existence, and why? Why do you truly exist? What is your purpose of existing? Is it for your friends, yourself, your family, or you're trying to prove something to yourself that you could be better? This is what it kind of really is and stuff, besides the whole crazy stuff. But this is what it kind of really is. It acts like they ask like these very deep questions for what you yourself is and stuff. What makes you you? You know? Oh man, it's like, it's confusing. It's very confusing, but you can kind of understand the gist of it and stuff. That's why I said it makes me wonder if Masashi was taking some stuff from this, you know. You know, but yeah, 10 stars, 10 stars for this beautifully written psychological busted type anime. 10 stars for me. But if you like what you heard what you like, you know, please subscribe, share, do all that wonderful stuff, and I'll catch you later.